So let's do this. Let's start off to the bottom right-hand side of this TvZ best of 3 between uThermal and GameTime. To the bottom right, it is Team Liquid's uThermal. See how he opens up in this TvZ series. And again, guys, as we just mentioned, as we are casting from replays and these results are known, again, we haven't been hiding results from you today to then cast from replays later, you know, or anything like that. We want you guys to know the results as they happen. But because of that, I do obviously request that you guys do not spoil these results in chat. It will get you timed out, you will get banned, etc. So please don't spoil the results. Let people enjoy these games if they haven't known the results already and they just want to enjoy them with the full-on excitement. Again, it's, you know, obviously I'm casting knowing the results, so it's a bit awkward. But I'm obviously going to be doing my best to cast as though I don't know the results and cast the games as they go. So, with that being said, guys, let's go to the upper left-hand side and introduce our other player here, who is the Yellow Zerg. Give it up for Sloth Esports Club. Game time. Here in Game 1 of this best of 3 series, we actually didn't get to see any game time on screen. When I originally set up the schedule, we actually had game time with a couple of series kind of set up to be cast on the main stream, but just with the way that the timing of matches went, it just made more sense to change that up and unfortunately not see game time until now. Just because we don't want you guys to end up sitting waiting forever for matches if you don't have to. You know, we don't want players to sit forever waiting if they can just keep on playing and getting, you know, games underway and all those little bits and pieces. So that's that. What's up, by the way? Bob King of 12 Versus saying, I see base rate is still the bit boss. Here's my feeble attempt to help. Thank you very much for the cheer 15. Appreciate it. See some love in the chat for a few little bits and pieces. But yeah, base rate's still the bit boss, guys. Can we kill them? Go on. You guys usually always want to bitch and complain about base rate. This is your chance to actually kill them, right? Oh god, what have I done? I've baited the chat. Please don't get T-triggered. Please don't go full Twitch chat. Alright, well, link speed coming up here as game time is going to throw down the third hatchery as well over to this right-hand side. So third hatch coming into play. And uThermal just moving forwards with this Reaper, having a little bit of a look to see just what is going on. A grenade will go down. This Queen will actually just get blasted a little bit around here as well. So Queen just going on a little bit of a journey there. A couple of Hellions currently on the way out here from uThermal, so they are coming up and getting ready to go. And he's just getting in towards, well, actually a whole bunch of Hellions here early on. So far, just a bit of a macro-focused game from both players. A Viking on the way too, I like it. uThermal just going to be able to clean up some Overlords early. And there's actually quite a few Overlords on the map, and especially without a pneumatized Carapace upgrade, game time will not be able to do a lot in terms of turning those away. Rotoron gets placed right now, though, from game time, so he's going to be able to set that up. Rotoron coming up into play, and well, we'll see what he wants to do with it. Currently is still droning, so we'll see if it is just going to be a defensive Rotoron against these few Hellions. Cyclone on the way out now as well, so honestly the Roaches might not be too bad of an idea. Kind of a Ling-Roach combination can be a very effective way of dealing with those Hellion Cyclone-based attacks. As we do just see this Viking up here, looking around and moving around, looking for further Overlords. He doesn't quite know that this one is over here just yet. He will find it eventually, I would imagine. Meanwhile, a couple of Queens just sat at the front as well, ready to catch units, etc. Although actually, for now, the couple of Hellions came up the right-hand side and obviously kind of managed to bypass the Queens so far. 6 Roaches on the way up in the main base, so it is going to be some form of commitment here from game time. 2 more on the way. Okay, this is getting past the point of, okay, I just want to deflect a bunch of Hellions. So we're going to be seeing the Hellions still moving around up this right-hand side. Meanwhile, an Armory about to finish up, so uThermal will be able to morph in Hellbats. He has a 3rd CC building at the front as well, taking extra gases, so let's go. It's going to be mech here from uThermal in game number 1, as we do see a little bit of a Hellbat Cyclone attack to begin with. It's actually maybe not overly aggressive actually from game time. Maybe it is just all about defending at the front here. Because uThermal is for now going to get pushed away. He loses quite a few Hellbats. The thing is, though, game time isn't making more drones. He's not droning behind this. He's still behind on workers. And the more units he makes, the more it looks like he will just commit across the map. He will just attack in and look to end this here. So here we go. Game time coming across. uThermal. What does he do about it? As you can see, well, a couple of Hellbats, a couple of Cyclones. deflecting for now. Man, if you could buy some time so at least the third CC finishes up, because one of the last things you would want to happen is for the third command center is to actually get cancelled or something like that, right? That would be a big loss, which really would slow you down as well. 4 Ravagers so far, 5th Morphin in. The Vikings come back home. Pretty much anything that can land here and help out will go a long way. Cancels that CC, morph into an orbital, and will just help out himself out here. As SCV is going to pull through this and start fighting. And a few Hellbats already mixed in. Just going to zoom in so we can see beneath the CC. Cyclones are going huge on the damage output, actually, and they pick off a lot of those links, but there's still Ravagers and Roaches left, but not too many. It looks like the Cyclones are still a couple to this top side as well underneath this command center, but they are going to be able to continue working their way through this army, and it looks as though that is actually just about going to be it. GameTime is going to get pushed away. Good defense by uThermal, and actually GameTime just going to type out GG as well. Not doing enough damage here, and obviously not feeling as though there's a potential follow-up from game number 2. To the top right-hand side, our blue Terran player from Team Liquid. Give it up if you're cheering on uThermal. He's going up against the yellow Zerg player to the top left-hand side from the Sloth Esports Club. It is GameTime. He had a couple cool performances in 2017. Really is one of those Zerg players who is quite often on the up. Maybe not very consistent at events, but very consistent in Challenger. I think, what event was it this year he had a very good time at? There was one event this year where he took down, I think he even beat uThermal in a group stage, which brought out something like uThermal having to defeat Mana. Something like that. I can't remember which event that was. Maybe Montreal, maybe it was Austin. But there was a lot of hype around GameTime earlier this year, when, especially off the back of that event in particular. As we keep on rolling. How's everyone doing in the chat, by the way? As things calm down, we don't have 2 games on at a time anymore. I can actually talk to you guys a little bit more. We're on no delay as well, which means that we can talk nice and easily with you guys. How's everyone doing? What's up? What's going on? How's your days been? Everyone having a good time? Everyone ready for a weekend? You know, you guys ready to rest up after Christmas with a nice weekend of StarCraft and stuff? New Year's weekend, obviously. So, again, just going to run you through the schedule of what's going on for us the next couple of days. Tomorrow we bring you guys the playoffs of the WardiTV Invitational number 2. We might also be casting the GG of the Year Cup. I'm not 100% sure just yet. Other than that, on New Year's Eve, we're going to be bringing you guys the BattleFi. Yes, the BattleFi New Year's Cup with via WardiTV, as we do see an early Roach Roaring again here. GameTime will be getting aggressive. There's already a couple of links slowing down SCVs building this command center. And one thing about the BattleFi WardiTV New Year's Cup, guys, is one of the big things is just getting a lot of people to sign up to it. The people who are sponsoring BattleFi or tournament organizing website. And so one of the big things for them is kind of pushing signups to their site, which is basically signing up to the tournament. So if you guys want to take part, or even if you just want to support the event, one of the best ways to do so is to type !BattleFi in the chat and just go get yourself signed up to the tournament, which will take place on New Year's Eve at 1 PM CT. You can play, of course. You're very welcome to come and play. But yeah, if you want to support, check it out, sign up, and we'd love to see you guys on there. New Year's Day, I'm not sure what we will do, but we'll be casting something, I'm sure. We'll find something to cast. On the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, I am away in Poland, although I'm back on the 4th. I'm away in Poland casting IEM qualifiers, but we will be casting a lot throughout the early weeks of January. But we'll have to talk about that later, because right now, 2 Roaches and 2 Ravagers approaching the front. They're already finding a couple of Marines on the low ground here. Tank will move forwards. Actually going to move forwards unsieged, so it can't be targeted by Biles very easily. There's uThermal in just defense mode here already. GameTime starting to drone up behind this. 6 more workers on the way. Nice catch of that Marine. Tipo goes down as well. I mean, the more damage you get done here, the better, right? As he grabs another SCV on the low ground. Tank moves forwards. Has to be careful with it. Needs to make sure he can pull back in time. More Marines have to pull away from the Bile, but he loses a tank and uThermal. He's losing a lot in general. That said, I mean, 5 workers down isn't the end of the world. It's definitely still something you can play with here, as we see those Marines, that tank, coming down the low ground again. uThermal finally will push this away, but still losing units as he goes. This is painful. I mean, GameTime really getting some value out of this now, as he does lose a Ravager, though. But it'd be nice to keep it alive, but Well, uThermal definitely paid the price for this attack. You know, Game Time did some damage. It wasn't like he just got pushed back instantly doing nothing at all. As you're going to see that lair going to start morphing in. It's just about halfway done already, actually. But going into the lair, Evo Chamber set up behind the mineral line and probably a missile upgrade. As uThermal has been enjoying playing mech in this matchup, and Game Time with the missile upgrade already onto roaches. It just makes sense. It just adds up. As you're going to see that third CC now building in base. And an armory at the front. An interesting armory at the front, I guess, just to Sim City this a little bit, help protect the tanks in some way. Two Marines is going to start moving forwards, and they're mostly going to be taking these watchtowers just as a way to kind of keep control of things right now. So Ravager comes forwards and will pick off this Marine as well, so that's a nice little shutdown there. As you will see, this supply depot just coming in on the right-hand side, just going to fill this gap. And just in case, it's one of those things where on this map, obviously, there is these rocks you can take down, which gives you access to this bottom pathway, which then leads you all the way along here, and then all the way up here. And so, of course, in general, you'd kind of like to avoid the... kind of roaches just running straight. Like, at least you get some pre-warning with this before it hits your mineral line, right? So that's all that's about. As you can see, a couple of Hellions alone on the way in towards this mineral line. And there are, by the way, the extra factories, the +1 attack upgrades. I mean, the armory was kind of a good enough indicator anyways, but this is everything else coming in just to, once again, reaffirm we are seeing mech from uThermal right now in this TvZ matchup. One Hellion picked off, and Roach is still pushing down the left-hand side. Looking to do... well, not really looking to do much more, just looking to shut down this Hellion. One Roach will continue to chase it, although... okay, he will continue. I was going to say, for a moment you start to pull back, I was like, nah, it's worth going across, I think, mate. I don't think it's worth stopping. Look at this game time, actually, only on 43 drones, going to hit a big +1 timing. Well, I mean, there is a couple of tanks already up, and the Roaches do have to push through this choke point area, which is something the tanks, I guess, for now will not actually cover. Third tank siege is up just up in the main. I guess the big difficulty here for uThermal is getting these tanks up somewhere where they're going to be safe enough. First tank will go down instantly to Biles. There's no high ground vision, and the other tank in the back is having a good time as well. Cyclones pull back too, but already a lot of SCVs taken down in this engagement. He's going to see more and more tanks just sieging, and Roaches continue to get picked away at. So Roaches continue to go down, and Ravagers as well. 2 more Biles will not kill the tank. Actually, uThermal makes quite a defense here. The tank just went down in the end from a couple of shots. Does he lose +1? He's going to start repairing it with a couple of SCVs. Moving forwards here, looks as though uThermal will have enough to shut this down. And even this tank siege now, obviously, again, this one single Ravager won't be enough. A nice target fight to make sure he does get the Ravager kill. uThermal holds, but he lost a lot of workers in this. So far throughout the game, 26 workers going down. And Game Time comes out, 20 workers up. Obviously, still can't keep on building those roaches. And he's begun to transition during the latter stages of that attack into the Hide plus 10, into the +2 missile attack upgrade. And just setting up from there. Roaches and Ravagers coming up top in towards the natural expansion. And they are going to be starting to nibble away at that refinery. Again, I mean, the tanks have pretty good coverage. Your refinery going down is big. I mean, it does slow down the mech play. But he lost a couple of roaches, at least. It's not like uThermal lost a bunch of SCVs with this as well. And we're just going to be seeing the infestation pit on the way up in the main base. So an infestation pit being invested into. Meanwhile, the Evo Chamber has the +2 missile attack about halfway done already. Most of the augments still on the way up in this hydrogen as well. And yeah, these siege tanks continue to come up towards the low ground. More tanks are sieging, and we do see a couple more Hellions swapping into Hellbats. Medivacs as well obviously wants to drop those Hellbats on top of the army as he goes. With the infestation bid finishing, a hive is probably one of the priorities now from Game Time. He actually started pathogen glands there for a moment, which I'm not too sure about. He cancelled it instantly and goes into the hive. We'll see if it goes back to pathogen glands and infestor production. Against mech, it's not the most common thing to see early. You'd much rather generally prioritize stuff such as Vipers. I mean, those sort of units are going to go a very long way in terms of helping out with the mech army in comparison to some other bits and pieces. There's 2 Hellions coming across over to the left. And we start poking in already. A couple of drones going down. Just going to see this Hellion pulling away, and the Ravagers and Hydras Just going to be, again, pushing it back. It's a good army from game time so far, and it's a good setup to move into the next stage of the game with as well, of course. Guys, we're casting replays right now because the matches are over for today. But because 2 matches were played at a time, we could only cast matches live, or half the matches live. So now we're casting the rest of the matches that happened today from replays. That's what's happening. We're not missing any live matches. If there was, we'd be in them. We're casting the replays of matches that happened today from this event. The event continues tomorrow for the playoffs at 7 PM CET. A couple more factories coming up here from uThermal, so 5 factories in total. And he's getting to the point where he's actually kind of set up to maybe push a little bit. The Viper count from game time is getting up there though, 3 of them in the production tab at the moment. And this Hydra's Ravager's still just gathering on up and getting ready to go very soon as well. A couple of Hellbats, a bunch of tanks. uThermal is going to push across the map here. Maybe actually a bit too early. I kind of looked like he had a lot, but now I look at it now, it doesn't seem like anywhere near as much as game time, because quite the lead when it comes to army supply. Generally, you want to lead. The thing is, it's not just the lead, he also has the composition. He has the Vipers coming out, and we're just going to be seeing the... you're going to see the Vipers is going to consume a little bit and get ready to throw down a couple of blinding clouds. Tanks being sieged up towards the front. Just taking some damage still. This barracks coming through the south side. These medevacs getting ready to pounce. They have the Hellbats on the side, so you can drop them right on top of the army right away rather than having them waddle forwards. And here we go. Well, the first Blinding Cloud is good. The second one, and uThermal was very slow to get the Hellbats on top. As they do drop, they start to really mess up these Hydras on the south. Can't help but feel that the tanks and the Blinding Clouds just aren't able to do enough. And now Hydra's actually going to start picking off a bunch of these medevacs, all of them, apart from maybe this one at the front. Well, uThermal's heavy losses here, as now he's going to have to pull back and play the defensive game. Game time is coming across, and he's looking to push to tie this up 1-1. A lot of Hydras, though, and they are very squishy, which is my one concern right now. If he gets a little bit overeager, he could just lose this, so he has to engage it correctly still. Still take a moment or two just to figure that out. +3 missile attack from game time is on the way up still, and it's natural. And it's just something extra that will help. Will he wait for it? 30 seconds? I mean, he might. There wouldn't be too much harm in it. Wouldn't hurt him too much at all. I guess it gives uThermal some time to get more tanks up, though, which could hurt. At the same time, I mean, game time could be replacing those Vipers, but that said, he actually has them up somewhere. They're just getting energy still. I definitely think you should wait until the Vipers are here to be able to kind of take the fight. Probably doesn't make sense to fight without them. Although right now, is he actually going to kill his own base? No! Game time kills his own 4th hatchery of the Vipers, which are consuming for some energy. So we've seen these Vikings up overhead, and, well, Hydra's Ravagers splitting themselves up and ready to come forwards here. There we go. Hydra's going to start pushing it in. On either side, some Hellbats are going to try and drop on top again. The Vipers doing their jobs, though. Those Blinding Clouds are huge, and they're hitting so many of these tanks. Finally, a couple of them coming out of Blinding Clouds. You can see how they start to decimate that Hydra force. It looks as though it's just going to be enough in game time to push on through this. GG out of uThermal. And game time will take game 2 to tie this one up 1 home. I kind of would rather not prefer. I'd rather prefer not to be driving on like ice too late and shit like that. So we'll see how the games are going and the length of them. For now, we're going to guarantee you guys at least the next 2 best of 3s, which are highest vote in the polls. If we're fielding it, maybe we go for all 5 that we didn't cast already. Anyways, the bottom left-hand side, our blue Terran player from Team Liquid. It is uThermal. I guess just falling behind a couple too many times in that game. Initially, the roach attack took a long time to clean up, and then the follow-up attack killed a lot of SCVs as well. And then when he got aggressive, he just didn't really have enough to take advantage of anything. As to the top right-hand side, our yellow Zerg player. Give it up if you're cheering on game time. So setting up into game 3 of this series, it's TvZ, and we're looking to see what's going to happen. Where am I? I'm in my studio office little space. I always cast from here. It just gives me somewhere to work from away from home. I can focus a lot better. I don't have to worry about kind of being too noisy. I can just chill out and all the rest. Is this live, Austin? No, man. This is actually from 2016. This is a rebroadcasted live replay, which is actually it's not actually, it never actually got played. It actually is just an imaginary game. Okay, I don't even know where I'm going with this anymore. This live game memes just, it never ends. It never ends. In case anyone is wondering, this game right now is from replays. And cast them live, yes, but the game is from replays because it was just played about a couple hours ago because we had some matches taking place. At the same time, grenade goes down and some Lings getting blasted around by that Reaper. Now he gets a drone kill, but not quite game time. Good defense on that. And uThermal pulling up to the high ground does have a Reaper ledge in the main base nowadays to get away with. Although he actually loops back around. He's actually going to be able to scout this very fast lair. Potentially. Did he see it already? He did. So he sees the lair, and that's already great information. So some info there for uThermal in the early stages. 2-minute 50-second lair. We'll see what GAMETIME wants to do with this. Is it going to be like fast mutalisks? Is it going to be a Nidus network? I mean, those are the two choices that kind of come up as kind of immediate kind of reactions here usually. Let's see what he wants to go for. Something else sometimes you very rarely see is something like a Hydra bust as well. But I definitely think something like a 2-base Spire, a Nidus network, try and pick up a cheeky win in game 3. I mean, 2-base Spire isn't like super all-in, but it's definitely very different and definitely sort of designed, I feel, nowadays to catch your opponent more off guard than anything. There's an Evo, actually, which doesn't really support either of those ideas. Obviously, you don't get an Evo for a Nidus, you don't get an Evo for a Spire. So maybe we do see something a little bit more funky. Maybe like a 2-base Swarm Host or something. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but it's not impossible. What's it going to be? This drone right here is going to give us all the answers we've been looking for. Puts it right down here, trying to just hide it away. It's actually going to be the Hydralisk Den. So Hydralisk Den it is. Hydra's early on from the lair. And already it's about a quarter of the way done as +1 missile attack upgrade will start up. Meanwhile, uThermal, there's quite a few Hellions already, making a couple of Cyclones and an Armory very early as well. You have to imagine that this will be, to some extent, some kind of Hellbat-focused attack. And so, already, I have to start questioning, will he be able to hold this with Ling Hydra? I guess Hydras will be pretty good if you get enough of them up, but right now, GAMETIME's supply blocked, and he really needs to not be supplied, he needs to get enough Hydras up, and he doesn't have that much money at the moment. I mean, if Hellbat's in a couple of Cyclones attack right now, you'd need at least 5-6 Hydras, I think, to realistically, like, pick away at those units fast enough to stop them from doing major damage or just killing everything. So let's see. There's already these Hellions starting to arrive. One creep team goes down very quickly. And this Queen starting to get roasted just a little bit here as well. We're just going to be seeing those Hellions wolfing into Hellbats. So here we go. uThermal. Well, he's pushing straight on up in towards the natural expansion. The third base isn't up just yet, which I guess he probably could get as, well, a couple of Hydras to the side, but the Lings need to try and come in and tank, but it's kind of difficult when there's Hellbats here because the Lings just die so quickly. 2 more Hellions arriving at the back. This Queen's going down. More reinforcing Hydras. They're just not going to be able to do enough, though. And so uThermal ends up typing out GG. GameTime ends up typing out GG, giving uThermal this victory 2-0 to advance on... 2-1. Wow, could I have been more wrong in the last 20 seconds? uThermal gets the GG out of his opponent to take this 2-1 in the TvZ and to advance on through. And